Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome back. A few days ago, I saw a poster of a Q&A from the page of Sheikh Asim Al-Hakim, which inspires this video. Let's take a look. The question reads, is it kufr to sell Christmas trees, Christian crosses, paintings of Jesus, even though we don't believe that he actually looked like that, for money? And the answer was straightforward. This is totally prohibited, but not kufr in itself. Sheikh Asim Hakim, may Allah preserve him, protect him, and elevate him. Knowing him, his personality, a person with high level of humor and also sarcasm, a person of no nonsense or a no nonsense sheikh he is. His answers are usually straightforward, and considering the amount of question that it seems he receives and he has to entertain and attend to them, he answers straightforward, gives straightforward answers, and this answer suffices. Yes, it is totally prohibited to sell Christmas trees, Christian crosses, paintings of Jesus for money, but in itself, it is not. It is not kufr. So, what are some of the points or the things that this post inspires? The first thing is for the person to come out to ask the question: is it kufr to do, or is better than not asking at all? In other words, his concern is only as long as it is not kufr, probably, as long as it is not kufr, then it should be fine. Even if it is prohibited, some people will just be fine with that. For someone to avoid a wrongdoing simply because it is kufr, as long as it is not kufr, he may consider doing it. This person is still better than someone who cares less at all. He will not even be bothered to check with religious references. Even if it is kufr, the more he knows that it is kufr, the more he's going to do it, even though he identifies and presents himself as a Muslim. So here, someone asking this question is definitely better than someone who is not asking at all. However, to ask, is it kufr to do something so and so, raises a concern that the Muslim should worry about. Let's take this example. As a parent, consider your good self a parent, be it a father or mother, and your child gives you the impression that as long as you do not disown him or her, then he will care less what he does. The rudeness, the insults, the disrespect, probably sometimes physical. As long as you do not disown him or her, then they will show you all sort of attitudes. How will that sound of you? Another example, you run an institution or a company, your staff or your student. As long as you keep them in the company, as long as you don't expel them from the school, then they don't care about the rules of the school. They don't care about the rules of the company. They don't care about the time they have to clock in or the time they have to clock out. If you are happy and you still keep them, then anything else is secondary to them. As a company operator, as a school operator, how will you handle this kind of attitude? وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى. For Allah is the best of examples. Yes, kufr is the worst case scenario for any Muslim to fall in. Na'udhu billah. May Allah protect us and safeguard us. However, when we deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we must have sense of respect. We must have sense of shy. We must have sense of the love is not something we are going to talk about yet. We must have sense of fear. Haya with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As long as I remain Muslim, it doesn't matter if I commit zina. Na'udhu billah. As long as I remain Muslim, it doesn't matter if I drink liquor. As long as I remain Muslim, it doesn't matter if I accumulate my wealth from riba. As long as I remain Muslim, it doesn't matter if I conspire with the enemies of Islam against Islam. You see where this kind of question can go, right? Is it kufur to do this? As long as it's not kufur, then it is fine to do. I'm not saying this is exactly what the person who asked this question has in his heart, but the fact that the question comes out, it has a meaning and the meaning has implication, and we have to highlight it accordingly. So how we ask the question may reflect what we believe or what we think, even if it doesn't. Some who may come across this question, it may give them the wrong impression. It may send to them the wrong message. That is point number one. Point number two, it is a season of Christmas, December of every year. The recycled argument or debate or discussion pops up again and again and again. It is very unfortunate. At least this fellow here, a Muslim brother or sister, he or she is working for their livelihood. Someone here is concerned about engaging in selling stuff that are related to Christmas. And someone cares less about partying, celebrating, and enjoying the festivities of Christmas, be it the Christmas or be it the New Year. As Muslims, it is not for us. As Muslims, it is not for us. Even some celebrations that have been innovated and claimed to be Islamic, we are not supposed to participate in them, let alone promote them. What more of celebrations that are non-Islamic, that come from other religions? In addition to the fact that it celebrates Trinity, and Trinity is a form of shirk. Regardless of whether Muslim men are allowed to marry Christian women or not, that is a different story altogether. Yes, Muslim men are allowed to marry Christian women, but we are not allowed to participate and celebrate Christianity. So if Quran has allowed us to do this, Islam disallows us to do the other as well. So if you're doing this because Islam allows you to do, then refrain from doing this because Islam doesn't allow you to do it. That's the second thing. The third thing is, the more we allow ourselves into committing activities, acts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala frowns upon, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is displeased with, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forbids us to, then the more we allow ourselves to sink and sink and sink. And when we sink down to the level, to the urge, one may, na'udhu billah, may Allah safeguard our iman. One may not realize, by the time he realizes, he has committed what he thinks that he is trying to avoid, the kufr. By the time he realizes, he's already in there already. May Allah safeguard our iman for us. May Allah grant us the consciousness to be mindful of Him at all times. And not only to be mindful of falling into kufr, but also to be mindful of falling into ma'siyah for that matter. Some may say, after all, some Muslims may go to hell and then they will go out from hell and go to Jannah. No Muslim should want to go to hell and then end up to Jannah after that. We even don't want to be among the last to enter Jannah. We want to be among the first, just beside Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to enter Jannah. If we can achieve that, why will we want anything less? If we can achieve that, why will we want anything less? And after all, this kind of question is for convenience. No matter what convenience we attain in dunya, it is inconvenience compared to the least convenience of akhirah. So may Allah grant us what it takes to better and purify our dunya for the best interest of our akhirah. Now back to you. What has this question and answer inspired in you? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Until the next, I leave you in His protection. See you in Jannah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.